So a week passes, Logan. They didn't do it on consecutive nights like Surprise and Innocence. Uh, Tuesday, May 19th, 1998, this airs. A big week in American history, Logan. Um, Deep Impact, still number one at the box office. The number one song was by Mariah Carey, and I listened to it because I didn't remember it, and I still didn't remember it. Like, I don't think I've ever heard the song before.
Wow, you didn't care about music at this time?
No, I did. It was just, it must not have been that big a hit. I don't know. Big music release week, though. DMX put out It's Dark and Hell is Hot, his first album featuring the Rough Riders anthem. I loved that. Everybody loved that. It was huge. Brandy and Monica put out The Boy Is Mine this week, which would go on to probably be a number one song for a lot of weeks during the summer. That was everywhere that summer. That music video of them fighting over a boy. Hell yeah. First ever Rufus Wainwright album came out this week, self-titled. He's a talented nepo baby, son of Loudon Wainwright III, who you might recall as the guy who marries Steve Carell and Catherine Keener at the end of 40-Year-Old Virgin.
No, I don't recall that.
All right. And the Godzilla soundtrack was released. Everyone's gearing up for the great new Roland Emmerich Godzilla. Size matters billboards were everywhere. And that album, of course, was notable for three songs. One, Puff Daddy's Come With Me, which featured Jimmy Page on guitar playing the riff from Kashmir. And the Heroes, the cover of Heroes, Bob Dylan's son Jacob Dylan covered Bob Dylan's Heroes. And then also the Green Day Brain Stew Godzilla remix, Logan, where during all of the guitar breaks, dun it, you could just hear Godzilla roaring in the background.
Wow, that's good.
Pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. The number one movie in America, though, was Deep Impact, still hanging on for a second week.
I think you said that.
All right,
Keep
leave me
going.
alone. But number two was first released The Horse Whisperer. All right, that's a 3-hour Robert Redford movie where he's taking care of horses. It is as boring as it sounds.
Yeah.
Except in the first 10 minutes, a horse gets hit by a truck. That's kind of baller.
What happens to the truck? I feel like the person in the truck would die if they hit a horse.
I think it was a real disaster on all counts.
Unless it was like a giant truck.
It was a pretty big truck. It was like a Mack truck.
Oh, okay.
All right. Number three, though, debuting at number three, Quest for Camelot, which we already saw it being advertised in Buffy canon as one of the posters at the movie theater, at the mall, in the episode where Angel loses his soul.
Yeah.
Innocence. All right. And a couple of indie releases this week. Warren Beatty's Bullworth, a fucking classic. So good. And Clock Watchers with Parker Posey and Lisa Kudrow and Toni Collette, I think. And then also, since it's spoof month, I'll bring this up. There was a spoof movie at this time, Logan.
Yeah.
It was called Plump Fiction.
What?
It was a spoof of Pulp Fiction, but with fat people.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. I remember the ad. I mean, or like the poster for it was like, she wasn't even fat. Like it's ridiculous what we thought fat was back then. But like a supposedly fat woman in the place of like Uma Thurman when she's like, when she's like laying on her stomach on the poster of Pulp Fiction and she's just eating a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, great stuff. What else happened this week, Logan? The British TV Awards, the Academy TV Awards, which is their version of the Emmys. That happened. The best comedy was Alan Partridge, the Steve Coogan show that I brought up a while back. Best drama, Jonathan Creek, which was a show about a magician's assistant who solved supernatural mysteries because he knew he was like a real skeptic. Like, I know the secrets behind. There's no magic because I know about it. All right.
Wow.
All right. And the best foreign show, America's Friends.
What?
That was the best foreign TV show at the British Academy Awards.
Oh, it's called America's Friends?
No, that's just it was from the country America, and the show's name was Friends.
Yeah, I don't understand.
What are you What don't you understand about that?
Oh, it's foreign to them.
Yes,
it's the British TV.
You fucking moron.
I forgot what we were doing.
All right. What else happened this week? I'll tell you. David Wells threw a perfect game for the New York Yankees. I watched it live, and it later came out that he went out.
How rare is that?
It's very fucking rare. That's when you don't walk any batters and you don't give up any hits. Like you face whatever it is, 27 batters in a row, you get them all out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And it later came out that David Wells was out until like 5 a.m. the night before, and he had an insane hangover during this game. And he pitched a fucking perfect game.
Wow, that's amazing. I thought you were going to say he like cheated somehow.
No,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right.
And cheating.
And I'll tell you what, it was also on Beanie Baby Day. Everyone in the crowd got a Beanie Baby. All right.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. You want to know what's happening in wrestling? Nothing really happened the previous week, but WCW dealing with the aftermath of Slamboree, which was not a good pay-per-view. The main event was Sting and The Big Show, who was known as the Giant, beating Scott Hall and Kevin Nash for the tag team titles. But they soon after that relinquished the titles because the Giant turned heel. All right. But over in WWF, big things are happening. I told you last week Edge debuted.
Yeah.
Well, now we get the in-ring debut of a great new character, Val Venus.
I remember him.
Now, he was both a wrestler as well as a porn star. Not in real life. That's in kayfabe. He debuted in a segment where they showed him hanging out with Jenna Jameson. All right. She was the biggest porn star at the time, so that put him over. And, of course, his classic finishing maneuver, Logan, was called the money shot.
Mm-hmm. What did that consist of?
It was just like a splash off the top rope. But, of course, the money shot is what they call it in porn when the guy comes.
Well, isn't that when he comes on the lady's face? Isn't that the money shot?
Well, I didn't want to say that, but yes.
Oh, we gotta be specific. You're gonna bring up what it is.
All right. Yes, it is when that happens. Okay. That's all I got for this week. Let's hear your notes on Becoming Part 2.
Okay. All right. Becoming Part 2. It's actually called Part 2?
Yeah.
It is, right? All right. Well, first, I like to bring up IMDb. Okay. This new number 1, Becoming Part 2.
I noticed that. Yeah, 9.5. Yeah.
Amazing. Last one, not even a 9.4. Okay, the second place is a 9.3. Passion.
Yeah, clicking up 2 spots.
Amazing. We'll see if we pass it in next season. All right, so Buffy, she like runs off, whatever. She gets away.
Yeah.
They don't kill her.
But she has a little run-in with Snyder first.
Oh yeah, what does he do?
Well, Snyder fucks her up, like, because she's trying to explain herself to the cops. Like, I wasn't even here. These are my friends. And then Snyder's like, listen, if there's trouble here, it's because of her.
Is that when he expels her, or did he expel her last episode?
No, he expels her here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she gets expelled, and he's like, yeah, take her away. And then he talks to the mayor. He's like, tell the mayor I got some good news.
That's later, actually. Yeah, I'm combining 2 scenes. But yeah.
Okay. But so she runs to the hospital, right? That's what happens?
Yeah, that's what happens.
And it's something serious is going on because Xander doesn't joke about copping a feel.
Right, yeah.
She's like, I know you just did that to cop a feel. And he's like, no.
And Xander's like, listen, Willow might be dead.
Yeah. And my problem with this episode, right, is I know Willow's not going to die. Do you know how I know that?
How do you know that?
Because I watched a little film called The New Mutants, and there was a scene where Willow is not dead.
Oh, The New Mutants spoiled it for you.
Yep, they ruined this episode for me. So that was a problem. Not really. I don't think you're supposed to think she's going to die.
No.
But yeah, so Willow's there, and she's like, she has something happen to her head. Didn't like a bookshelf
Head
fall on
trauma.
her?
Yeah, bookshelf fell on her. She's got head trauma, they say.
Yeah, that's not good. And Giles, she realizes that Giles is not at the hospital, and she's
Right.
like, well, that's not good. And
They also explain Willow's parents not being there by saying they're with relatives in Phoenix.
yeah,
I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, they do explain that away. So Giles is with Angel. Angel took Giles, and he's like, "Hey, you're a smart fella. How the fuck do I get this sword out of the statue? How does that happen?" And how does Giles figure it out? Does he just?
Giles knows. Like, he's done research on a Cathla already, so he like knows the shtick.
Is this when he has his shirt open? Giles has like his shirt a little open, and he's like messing with him a little bit.
That might be a little later, but
Okay.
he is strapped to the chair already, and Angel is beginning to torture him.
Yes. And the cops go, and they talk to Joyce, and they're like, "Well, your daughter killed somebody or something." I don't remember.
Yeah.
And so
I like Angel's like, it's been a long time since I tortured somebody. Last time I did it, they didn't even have chainsaws yet.
wow, hope we see that. That's pretty
That's
cool.
fucked up.
So Buffy encounters the Whistler at Giles' house, right?
That's right, yeah.
I don't remember what happened, but
He's just
Whistler
sort of
was there.
hanging out there, and he explains to her.
he doesn't do anything for me, the Whistler.
Well, fine, you never see him again. But he says like the reason he went to Angel in 1996 was like he knew of like a prophecy regarding this Acathla, and that Angel was involved in it. And so he wanted to recruit Angel because he believes that it was Angel that was going to stop this from happening, which ultimately it is kind of. But he didn't see Angel turning evil, and so he like commiserates with Buffy over that.
Right. And then does Spike show up at Giles' house? When does Spike?
No. Buffy is making her way back towards her mom's house, and
there's a cop.
A cop
he
stops
kills
her,
a cop, or
and
beats up a
he
cop.
doesn't kill her. Yeah, kills. Yeah, Buffy
they
doesn't let him.
specify that they're still alive at one point.
Right. But yeah, Spike helps her out there.
Yes, and Spike wants Buffy to help him and Drusilla out because he hates Angel and he hates being in the situation that he's in. He just wants out, and he's like, well, "I will get rid of Angel. I'll help you with Angel if you can help me with Drusilla." So that's basically his thing. And Drusilla's like, or Buffy's like, "No, because Drusilla just killed Kendra. Well, why would I help you guys or help her out anyway?"
Yeah, she says, "Why would I'm not going to help you out just because your girlfriend's a big hoe."
Yeah, I'm a big hoe. Jesus. Why is Buffy? Is Buffy not mad at Drusilla because Drusilla also loves Angel? That's not a factor at all.
Well, Buffy's not there for that.
She doesn't really know about that.
Yeah, she's not really that like.
She knows she's being a big hoe.
well,
that means with Angel, right?
Spike says like he doesn't like the way Drusilla is with Angel. But I think at this point, like, Buffy sees Angel as a completely different person. Like, Angel's not cheating on her.
Yeah, she makes a big decision at the end.
Yeah, and Spike doesn't want to end the world. He likes the world because it has dog racing and Manchester United.
Does he say that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's pretty funny. So do we go back to the hospital?
Yeah.
All right, so we're back at the hospital, and Cordelia leaves. What does she go do? Get a snack or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's just Xander and Willow by themselves. And Xander is like, "Willow, you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hang myself because I love you." I don't think he says that, but then
he says, "I love you."
He says, "I love you," and she starts to wake up, and he's like, "Oh my God, she's waking up!" And what does she say?
Oz.
And you're like, "Oh no, Xander!" And then Oz walks in. And he's like, "Yes, I'm here." And you're like, "What? How did that happen?" But anyway, that was pretty upsetting.
Well, Xander had called Oz. Remember, like when Buffy goes to the hospital earlier, she's like, "Have you called Oz?" And Xander's like, "Oh God, I didn't think about that." Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, but so So what does he mean by this? Does this mean he is should I be worried about Cordelia's feelings in this moment?
Oh, I think you maybe should. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really like that for
Yeah.
Cordelia, but it was upsetting for him nonetheless. For
I think
her to
Xander
say,
seeing Willow laid out like that, he sort of more fully understood his feelings for her.
Mhm.
And yeah, to be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. And so, does Mom about to find out?
Oh yeah.
All right, so Mom is home, and Buffy and Spike are there, and they're like, "Hey, Mom, nothing to see here." And then a vampire shows up, and they have to kill the vampire. And Mom's like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah, they try to use the old "we're in a band together" routine.
Spike says at one point that he can sing, and
Yeah.
I hope that comes into play at some point. I hope that Spike sings.
At some point in the
I thought we were gonna
series-
get it. I thought she was gonna say prove it.
At some point, like in a later season, you hear Spike sing "I Want to Be Sedated" by the Ramones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
So look forward to that.
I am already. So they go inside. I like this one little moment where Spike and Joyce are sitting in the living room and it's just quiet, just them sitting in the living room. It's an awkward moment. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like that
nice.
too.
That's nice. And
Oh, and he's like, she's like, "Do I know you?" And he's like, "Yeah, you hit me with an axe. Get away from my daughter." Remember?
yeah, was that School Hard?
Yeah, that was cool hard.
Was that the only time they saw each other?
Yep.
Was that his first episode?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Is that the third episode of the season? School Hard?
Yep.
Wow, look at me, I'm an expert. So there's like a big dramatic moment where Buffy's like, is Joyce an alcoholic?
Oh my god. I don't believe so. I think Buffy's just angry in this moment and
Okay.
calls out that Joyce grabbed for a drink.
Okay, because she says at one point, she says, "Why don't you just have another drink?" And it was like, oh, is that a thing I didn't really know about her?
And Joyce just throws that drink right away.
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
Yeah,
earlier in the episode when the cops go to talk to Joyce,
Mhm.
and the cop is like, "We know your daughter has like a history of violent behavior." That's because it's the same cop that talked to them after Ted died in the episode
Oh.
Ted.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. After he died. Quote,
Right,
unquote.
right.
That's really cool. So, yeah, and Mom basically tells her, like, if you're leaving, don't ever come back. And Buffy's
That's
like,
right.
fine. And she leaves. And you're like, oh, man. But, all right, so Willow, back at the hospital, Willow's like, hey, I remember that spell? I want to try that again. And they're like, all right, fine. And Willow does something. And it's like kind of crazy. She sends Oz and Cordelia. She's like, "Hey, why don't you guys go off and go look? Where does she send them? She sends them to do something, and she sends Xander to go help Buffy. But I thought it was crazy. She sends Cordelia with her boyfriend. The last guy she liked, Cordelia stole from her.
Well, I think she trusts Oz. Like Oz ain't fuck. I don't think Cordelia's fucking with Xander. I mean Oz. Oz is like a foot and a half shorter than Cordelia.
Yeah, you're right. But that was a crazy move, I thought.
Yeah.
I would not trust Cordelia with my boyfriend. But
Well, it just goes to show how far they've come since Innocence.
yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
And so I think this is when Giles has his shirt sort of undone and he's
Yeah.
torturing him more, and he brings up, he's like, the way that you do the thing is you have to pull the sword while wearing a tutu. I thought that was a pretty fun.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, what did that mean?
That's just like a British fuck you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seems like something like that. But I thought that was pretty good moment from
Yeah.
Giles. And is this when Jenny Calendar shows up?
Yes.
Yeah, so they bring in so Drusilla comes in and she does like a crazy little Drusilla thing. I don't know.
Spike's idea, by the way. Spike is like, Angel, why don't you calm down? We got this crazy lady here who knows how to do some pretty crazy shit. Why don't you call her in?
Yeah, and so she starts kissing Giles, and then she turns into Jenny Calendar, and she's all like, I don't remember what she tell him.
Well, she says like, tell me how to get how. I
Oh,
don't.
she gets like the info about the having
Yeah,
he
she
has to
gets the
bleed
info and says
yeah,
they're
right.
gonna be together finally, and we can do all the things we never got to do. I think implying like she's gonna suck his dick, and then and then they make out for a while.
Yeah, a long
Drusilla and
time.
Giles. Yeah,
Yeah, Drusilla really enjoyed that.
yeah, she got into it. She goes, "I was in the moment."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something I always like in movies, whenever somebody dies and they have the chalk outline.
Yeah, you see that in the fucking floor of the
That's one of
library.
my favorite things.
I saw. Did you see Snyder stepped on it? I was like, "Walk around, motherfucker."
Oh yeah, he's so disrespectful. He didn't care. But yeah, so this is when he expels Buffy. He
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
in, and then Buffy says something to him. She's like, "Just because you never got a date in high school doesn't mean you could be a jerk to everybody." And he's like, "So what?"
yeah. Well, she says like, "You never got one date in high school, did you?" And he's like, "And." Like,
Yeah, he confirms it. That
yeah.
was very funny.
Uh,
Yeah,
she says the cops, they're gonna figure out eventually that it wasn't me. And his response to that is, "Haven't you noticed the police of Sunnydale are deeply stupid?"
yeah, they really are. They're very stupid.
Yeah.
Um, so is this when Xander meets up with Buffy? He
Wait,
runs
and
into her.
yeah, yeah, and this is when he calls the mayor at the end of the scene, which is setting up season 3.
Oh, we get to meet the mayor, Mr.
Yeah,
Mayor.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Xander shows up to Buffy, and he's like, "Hey, good luck doing everything. Willow wanted me to tell you something. She wanted me to say, kick his ass, do a great job." And he doesn't tell her that basically Willow's trying to reverse the curse.
Right.
And,
Willow sends Xander off to like tell Buffy like we're working on Angel, and Buffy and Xander's just like fucking kill this guy.
Yeah, pretty crazy. But that's what happens, right?
Yep.
Um,
This and it doesn't come back for like a long time. Like it takes a really long time for Buffy to find out that Xander told her the wrong thing.
what do you mean?
Whatever. Keep going.
Oh, okay. So they do the spell, right?
Yeah, they do. And Willow goes into like a magical trance. And
yeah, you think she's gonna like pass out, but then she starts speaking Latin or something.
yeah, this is setting up some shit. In the previous episode, Giles had told her, like, I don't know if you want to do this spell. It might open a door that you may not be able to close. And that's let's just say that was in my paper, Logan.
I understand.
Yeah.
So they do that. They do a fight where Spike turns on Angel, right? And he starts beating the shit out of him with something, and then Drusilla, like, she's like, "Hey, don't fight Angel." So she starts fighting Spike, and then Spike like starts. I think he chokes her out at one point.
He says like, I don't want to hit you, and she keeps fighting him, and then he hits her, and he's like, doesn't mean I won't.
Yeah, and so he knocks her out and like takes her away while
I love when they're in the car together driving away, and he's like got her in his like his arm around her like passed out form.
that blacked out car. That
Yeah,
they have,
yeah, I
so
love
there's no
that shit.
sunlight. That's cool. Yeah. So basically, Buffy and Angel have a big sword fight, and they get the spell to work. Angel comes back to his former nice self, but what Buffy? I guess she just doesn't believe it, right?
No, she
She doesn't
does.
understand?
She understands. She knows what's happening, but the blood of Angel is needed to close the door to hell that Acathla is currently opening. So she has her boyfriend back, but she has to kill him so that the world is saved.
She had to kill him for that.
Well, she doesn't kill him.
I know.
Angel doesn't die here, but
I know.
she stabs him in the heart with a metal sword and sends him to hell.
But what I sort of I thought that Angel, or I thought that what Xander said to her sort of played a bigger factor. I thought that she didn't quite understand what was happening.
She immediately knew what happened.
Okay, so I thought Xander like got him killed here, kind of. But so she understands and she just did it because it's what she had to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is her sacrificing the man she loves to save the world.
Wow. But
That's why she says like close your eyes, because she wouldn't have said that if like she thought it was Angelus. And she like kisses him a bunch.
yeah, it's like remember that Walking Dead episode? This is like kind of like Walking Dead. This is what's that character's name? Carol?
T-Dog?
No, not T-Dog. Carol?
Yeah, what Carol?
She remember those two little girls? There are two little girls that show up one season.
I don't remember.
Carol like I don't remember how they show up, but Carol likes these two little girls, and she tells one she has to kill one of them because one of them starts trying to like kill the other. It was some crazy shit. She tells her to look at the flowers, and then she blows her head off or something.
They ripped off Buffy.
Yep, look at the flowers.
Close your eyes.
All right, but another thing is like, I guess in the moment you're like, "Damn, Angel is dead." Is that what you thought?
I was too sort of knowledgeable about TV, and I knew that David Boreanaz had signed on to still be a regular in season 3.
Yeah.
So like I knew they had to get out of it somehow, but the biggest thing was that they're sending him to some crazy hell dimension. How the fuck are they gonna get him back from that?
Right. So you're not supposed to think he's dead here, are you? Or aren't you?
I think at the time probably you're supposed to think that, but
That's how they sort of handle
I
it.
never really did.
Yeah. Well, of course I don't because I know that
You know that there's a TV show called Angel.
Yeah. So this didn't really hit me the way they probably intended it to.
Yeah.
But I understand its impact. I understand it's great. I guess we didn't finish it, right? The Sarah McLachlan song.
Yeah, Full of Grace by Sarah McLachlan.
Oh,
no, it's not that one. That of course plays at the end of the Felicity pilot. No. All of my strength and all my courage, come and lift me out of this place. Yeah, that's the Sarah McLachlan song. Pretty good.
Yeah,
and
great.
And you see Joyce discover like her room is empty. She's come back at some point and like taken all of her shit with her.
There's a note.
There's a note, right? And then
it probably says, "Get your drinking under control."
And then we see them all at school, like going, like, "Well, I guess it's like the world didn't end because look," and they're like, "Yeah, Buffy's got to come back soon, right?"
I have a question about them at school.
Yeah, go ahead.
Willow's in a wheelchair. Do you think that's the same one on set that they used for Spike?
I can almost guarantee that.
I wanted to go back and look at his wheelchair, but I didn't.
It probably was, yeah. And yeah, Buffy's like watching them from afar, and then she gets on a bus and leaves. And the last thing we see is now leaving Sunnydale. Come back soon. That sign.
Yeah, signs of what movie ends like that? Is it Welcome to the Dollhouse? What movie ends when she gets on a bus and leaves? It's either that or Ghost World.
Ghost World.
Okay, Ghost World. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, she leaves Sunnydale. So I wonder where next season's gonna take place. Where do you think?
I think probably Sunnydale.
Oh, I was gonna say Missouri.
Oh wow, interesting. Is that where you think Buffy's going?
I think so. Where's a town? I could think of a town in Missouri.
I don't know any towns in Missouri. You're the one that lives in that mongoloid part of the country.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Let me know if anybody knows any towns in Missouri.
Okay.
All right, I give this one 4 stars.
St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis, Missouri, obviously.
Yeah. Another 4. Okay, I'm gonna give this a 5. You could pop this baby at the top. It was a short run for becoming part 1. Becoming part 2 takes over that slot for me.
Yeah, and I put this one right above it also. I have this one in the number 4 slot too. Okay. Only because it didn't, like, I know Angel's coming back, you know?
Yeah,
and I knew Willow wasn't going to die because of New Mutants.
But Joyce finds out Buffy's the Slayer.
I thought Joyce was kind of bad in that dramatic scene.
No!
She's not that good there.
I think you're crazy.
Yeah, I didn't really think so.
All
but
right.
I thought it was a great episode. I thought it's my 4th favorite Buffy episode. It's better than The Witch. Or Witch, whatever that one's called.
Just Witch.
Just Witch.
All right, what's your What's your MVP?
By the way, I have Witch. Okay, it's still in the top half. It's barely so the top half. We've done 34 episodes, so the half would be 17. Okay, Witch
Yeah.
I have 16. When that gets in the bottom half, I'm gonna be so upset, and it could
What's
happen in the next 2 episodes.
what's my 17 and 18? What's my
Oh
split?
shit. Your 17 is Out of Mind, Out of Sight. Wait, is that right? Out of Mind, Out of Sight, or is that backwards?
No, you nailed it.
Oh, I switched it. And Phases. You wanted to rate that one. I have that one very high.
Yeah, okay.
I have Phases 7th place.
Wow, yeah, you love that werewolf episode.
Great episode.
All right, Logan, who's your
What's next week? Oh, we didn't do that. My MVP. I don't know. I think Buffy again. I think Buffy's really good in this two-parter.
I agree. I think Buffy's the one for this one.
I have a lot of.
She's so good. The scene where she finally like kills Angel, like I think she's amazing.
Yeah.
In that sequence.
Yeah. Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's just so good.
And she's great in the scene with Joyce when she's like, "What do you think has been happening for the last 2 years? How many times have you washed blood out of my clothing?" And
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
All right, LVP contenders that I wrote down. The Whistler didn't really.
Yeah,
didn't.
That's mine.
Yeah, I wrote Oz. What did he do this episode? He just showed up at the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Cordelia, what'd she do?
I guess not a lot.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot. And Mom, I wrote her down. Didn't love her acting, but I'm gonna go with the Whistler.
Just Whistler.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, that's his name, Whistler, right?
Yeah.
At least Mom had like a good moment. Whistler was like, I don't even understand what he did, basically.
Max Perlich, by the way, is Whistler. He's been in a lot of indie films. He had a recurring role over there on the Gilmore Girls. Actually, just Gilmore Girls. No, there. And I think he's a good actor in general. But apparently was not available for Angel.
Yeah, that's probably the shock of this whole episode. Was I figured that guy would for sure come back.
Yeah,
but
I know.
No. Who's that one guy they call the Snitch? Somebody the Snitch?
Willie the Snitch. They're kind of similar. I get those actors confused sometimes, actually.
I thought that this would be like a guy like that comes back every now and then.
Yeah, right. No, I did too. I remember thinking like Whistler was gonna be like a fucking regular in season 3, but like you literally never see this character again.
Yeah. All right, but okay, we got a comment on the Patreon. You want me to read that?
Yeah.
I put it up earlier this morning because I forgot yesterday. But all right, so Joshua Cole, thanks to you, he said, "I love season 2."
Joshua Cole.
Joshua Cole, yeah.
That's his name.
Joshua Cole, yeah. He
It's
says,
not Josh Lankford.
No, Joshua Cole.
It says Joshua Lankford.
Did he change his name? Is my thing?
It's always been Lankford.
Why does it say Joshua Cole?
I don't know.
Person?
What does your comment say?
It says, "I love season 2. They really find the characters."
That's Lankford.
My thing says Joshua Cole then.
Oh my god, my thing just changed. I think he just changed his name.
Holy shit.
Holy that was bizarre.
Wow. Well, that just happened. All right. So he says, "I love season 2. They really find the characters in this season. I agree. Willow, especially, huge step up. I didn't like her season 1. Like her this season. Sarah. Oh, and Angel. I feel like I didn't like him season 1. Like him a lot season 2, right?
Yeah. You agree.
Sarah and David. That's. I guess he's friends with them.
You know he's a fan. You know he's a fan, bro.
That's for all you that don't know. That's Sarah Michelle Gellar and David Boreanaz. Yeah. Are amazing, and Spike Spike, no capital letter for Spike.
James.
James,
motherfucker.
James Marsden. You gotta capitalize James.
Yeah. Perfect from the beginning.
Yeah, it's perfect from the beginning. Can't wait to start 3. It's my favorite season besides 5, and my favorite character Willow becomes more of a character and starts to shine from here on out.
Bold.
Very cool.
By the way, season 5, number 1.
You don't like that?
No, it's my number 2 or 3. Yeah, but this season 3 is my personal favorite.
All right. Well, what's it called? What's the first episode called?
Oh, well, next week on the show we'll be covering the first 2 episodes of season 3 of Buffy. Episode 1 is called Anne.
All right.
The name Anne.
Anne. I guess there's a new student named Anne, and she has some powers that we'll find out about.
Okay. And then,
Oh wait, we're not even at Sunnydale. I don't even know. I don't know.
well, everyone else is in Sunnydale.
I'm gonna think she gets picked up by a hitchhiker named Anne. That's what happens.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And episode 2 is named after an Oinga Boinga song. It's called Dead Man's Party.
Wow, I've never heard of that. I'm gonna guess that they go to a party hosted by a guy that's dead. They don't know about it.
Okay.
He's like a zombie.
Well, all right. Yeah, look forward to that.
All right, very excited. Are any of those hosts or directed by Joss? He likes to do premieres and finales.
Yeah, he does the premiere, and I think the second one's a Marty Noxon.
Oh, she wrote it though.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool.
Hell yeah. All right. In the meantime, keep them TVs fucking hot as hell. Watch some more Buffy.